Welcome to the Music and Crypto Podcast, powered by BeatzCoin. Sit back and listen to artists, crypto experts, and many different guests tell their stories as we get deep into the art of music and revolutionary crypto space. So let's get started.
What's going on, everyone? This is our first episode of the Music and Crypto Podcast. It is being launched first exclusively on VibraVid. Yes, we launched last week, and what can I say? We've got over 900 users already, over 400 video and audio files uploaded. Yeah, there are a ton of bugs, a lot of bugs, but it's an MVP, minimum viable product. It's awesome to see that we've got something live, and it's awesome to see the community helping out and giving us feedback, and it's only going to make our platform even better. So we're really excited. Round 2 of our IEO goes live on Wednesday on probit.com. So if you want to get your hands on some more BeatzCoin, probit.com starting Wednesday. Today on the podcast, I have Brian Genius co-hosting with me. Y'all should know Brian. He's been on a couple of other episodes. He's on our artist relations team. We talked to Morris Mills. He is an American rock and funk singer from my home state of Texas, and he is actually part of our Artist Accelerator campaign and one of the first artists that actually put up an album on VibraVid. So we talk about, you guessed it, music and crypto, among other things. So let's get straight into the episode. I'm going to lead you in with my favorite song from his album, The Dawn. It's called You and I Should Be Together. Let's get this going. All right, what's going on, everyone? I am here with Mr. Brian Genois co-hosting with me, and I also have Mr. Morris Mills. How you doing, man? How both of you guys doing?
I'm good. Awesome. I'm good.
Awesome,
man. What's up, Brian? What's good? What's up, Alex?
Yeah. So we were just talking about VibraVid since we just launched it, and I was like, wait a second, let's go ahead and get all this raw material here on the podcast. So what are your early impressions? I know this is just in the tech world they call it an MVP, Morris. So it's like minimum viable product. It's literally just to show that it's possible to do this with decentralized technology. But tell me a little bit about what you think.
I think it's revolutionary. It's just new. It's new to me. It's like the new .com or just something just revolutionary. So I'm still learning about this digital virtual
the whole blockchain stuff. Yeah, and for the record, and there's no shame in saying it because you're with most of the people, like you didn't really know anything about cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, but you were able to set up an account, and Brian just sent you, some BeatzCoin and some TRX currency for you to use on the platform. And it was just that easy, right?
Yeah. It's just that easy. But I have heard of the crypto, and I've heard of the Bitcoin. I have some friends that are involved in it, and they were trading very early. Mm-hmm. And they tried to get me on it. I'm just like, no, I'll stand back and I will just wait.
See, but now you have an interest in it because it benefits your profession directly.
Absolutely. So that's, and that's one of the intriguing things about it. Now, how can we merge this thing against the current music industry? That makes any sense. Because right now the industry is broken, right? So I'm looking at this as a fix. a solution for the industry or for the independent musician to make their living.
Yeah, right. That's correct. You got it.
Right.
I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have a new way to market yourself, a new way to get directly peer-to-peer, which is unheard of right now because everything's based on a subscription model. The key is finding that healthy balance to really optimize your funds, man, to make it as an independent artist, because we know that it's difficult now. It's not like it used to be.
Right. No, it's not. And I think Prince Roger Nelson was very instrumental, and he saw that. And he saw the being in control of your content, being in control, being paid for what you work, and he saw the change. And the key word that you said that made me bring him up was peer-to-peer, right?
That's how it was.
His last two albums. Yeah. So Prince had brought it back, and he saw the revolutionary of getting from peer to peer, and he did this with his last two albums. And so when I first saw that, and when Brian brought this to me, kind of broke it down, I was like, this is what he was talking about. You know, this is something he was talking about. So that really got my interest.
And let me chime in for a second, just to your point about the music industry is broken. There's an article out, and you should Google it. It says Warner Music Group signs partnership with Dot Blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's not really a new article. And the thing is these legacy music industry entities are trying to figure out, and not only that, all these centralized platforms are trying to figure out how can they get into blockchain. So they have to do something, right? But at the end of the day, if you're going to be really independent, and own your publishing, you also need to be independent in terms of how you distribute your music and selling directly to your fan base. So even though you're going to see record companies come over, well, it doesn't mean that necessarily you want to sign a deal with them, but they're going to try to, say, well, you can now use the blockchain. But the public blockchain is what, this public blockchain is kind of like what we're doing here with streaming music. So you definitely have a validation that this is revolutionary.
Right. And
and there's another thing. Go ahead, Alex.
No, you go ahead, man. You're the star.
No, what I was saying was, and it's like another format of streaming. And since there are no U.S. currency that's really involved per se, it could change the streaming revolutionary of the streaming revolution as well, because right now streaming you get paid a penny on a dollar. It's not even a penny on a dollar. It's a fraction of that.
Yeah.
Right. So with the Bitcoins the Bitcoins and all of that, I'm still trying to get all that terminology together. It could just really revolutionize the music industry. So I think you guys really got something Bill Gates and Microsoft and Apple kind of thing going on here, man.
Yeah, man. It really brings together old school and like new school, because we talked about peer-to-peer. I mean, when people would sell their singles out the trunk of their car, that's peer-to-peer, Now we're just taking it and making it into, putting it in the blockchain and using cryptocurrencies for those transactions. But it's definitely, you need some of the new and some of the old, and blockchain provides that bridge to be able to do that. Now, how do we get the artists to take the most advantage of? I think that's what we're all going to figure out together as a community of people using VibraVid and a community of artists and content creators, that they're going to find the best way to really benefit from the platform, because it's essentially another distribution tool.
That's right. And also, to reflect on what you just said, in terms of technology, the other benefit is you don't have to have CDs that fall off the truck and nobody knows where they go. With blockchain technology, you know where your data is, so that's another added benefit. And also, everybody's in this together early, but think about it. You're an early adopter. So when you get out in front like this, it's like your brand becomes synonymous with the movement. Like when Apple said iCloud, well, they knew that they didn't own cloud computing. But if they can use iCloud, which is a storage component of cloud computing, when you think of cloud, you're going to think of Apple.
Right.
When you start talking about blockchain, those early adopters that are getting out there, people will identify your brand with blockchain. So it's a great thing that you're like leading this, Morris.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys taking interest and inviting me on the platform. It's very revolutionary. The blockchain, kind of break that down for me, for the listener. Break down that. So say like an independent artist like me, or even a major artist, say, you know what? For example, like the Black Keys. I just read an article on them the other day. This cat was very distraught. He was like pissed, right? And he was like, man, I'm trying to make it in this industry, but they're accepting the people that got 15 million followers versus good music. And
awesome.
I mean, you understand
awesome.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right?
Pause right there, because when you said break it down, the first thing that comes to mind is censor free. And what I mean by that is you can't have a platform like YouTube or any other platform that can, dictate based upon whether or not you're a very popular artist or not. You're not popular enough to get on this platform. So with blockchain, you remove the intermediaries out of the way. It's the people's network. So it's not a centralized platform where someone who owns that server, like a Napster, can dictate, well, you know what, you're not ready yet because you don't have so many cells. This is the blue-collar network of streaming where anyone can use it. As long as the music is good enough for people to want to buy it, they'll buy it, right? So you remove that control out of it because it's decentralized and it's peer-to-peer between other end users who can have access to that data without having to have a major streaming platform control that. But that's the difference right now. And so that would resolve a lot of problems.
Right. And adding cryptocurrency to the whole blockchain aspect and giving it a little more technical version, what happens with the traditional streaming model right now is that you have to, let's say, your music on Spotify and Apple is heard a combined of 100,000 times for the month of October. Then what happens is you have to trust, first of all, that song was played 100,000 times and they're telling you the right number, Apple or Spotify. Then Apple or Spotify goes in, they give you a little piece based on their formula of how they want to pay you out, and then you get your royalty check in the mail 45 days later or whatever. If you have like a CD Baby or a TuneCore, they'll send you a payment. Whereas with the blockchain, it's already a decentralized payment system. So yes, you get paid in a cryptocurrency, but the moment someone hits play and they pay, it goes directly from their wallet to your wallet. And that's where the technology is like, wow, because you're skipping that unnecessary middleman.
Right. Take out the gatekeeper. Take out the people that are setting the tone. It just, the crazy thing about what you just said too about all that is that I got like a million things running through my head right now. But the great thing that you said about that was they get to set the tone. Where the blockchain is is whatever you just said, what you just said, right? So check this out. I don't know if that made any sense, but check this out. Spotify, I don't know if Apple does it. I prefer Apple Music over Spotify anyway, because they pay their songwriters more.
Right.
But check this out.
Me too.
Spotify doesn't want to pay their share, their fair share of the songwriters, and that's where the problem is at. So they get to say, well, we can make up this artist because it's our platform, and we can say this artist that we never seen before, that we never heard before. I never seen any videos before. This cat is streaming what, a billion streams, and you never heard of this artist. How is that possible? Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, do you get where I'm going with this? I mean, how is that possible? You know, you got, why? Because they made up an artist that never existed. I put it just in our faces and say, okay, this is a legit artist, but they made him up and said, this artist got 1 billion streams. Now you have to live up to that standard, right?
So they're setting the bar. They're setting the bar to try to, have their subscribers achieve a certain stream ratio, and it's fictitious. It doesn't exist.
Right, and they're picking and choosing. That's what the industry does to further their agenda. Let's be honest.
It's both. They're picking and choosing, and then making up fictional artists. What kind of bullshit is that? You make up, excuse my language, but if you really think about it, what kind of bullshit is that? So if you look at the transparency of VibraVid, blockchain, man, this is a revolutionary, transparent format.
Morris, the lights just went on. The lights just went on. Like, you had to ask the question, what is it? And you answered it yourself. You see how that works? You got it, man. You totally got it.
It's funny because in crypto, like, they kind of make a joke because, like, revolutionary is very cliche. Everyone's like, this is a revolutionary product. But it is, man. It is. Like, it is revolutionary. And, you know, if in this field, if we heard that word, like, if we got $1 for every time we heard that word, I'd be rich.
No, but if you look at it, it's like Facebook. It's like MySpace. I mean, if you look at it like that, that's how I'm looking at it now. You know, and when I said, where is the next MySpace? Where is the next Facebook? Right? But you combine that with cryptocurrency.
That's right. You
combine that where the artists can and be transparent, right? About what's coming in and what's going on. See, my biggest fight is this. My biggest passion is this. Music is not a plaything. We are working musicians that are underpaid.
Right.
And we're getting ripped off by these major labels that are that wants to give us $1 for every album that's sold. Like you sell an album, what, $10? The record company gets what? Gets maybe 9 of that, right? If you're an artist. Now, if you're a songwriter, you probably get a little more than that.
No, man, they're raping the artist, dude. That's all it is. They're pimping the artist.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Full control. Plain and simple. They have full control, and you know what? As my grandma used to say, time out. Time is over.
Right. And I think the blockchain, this movement can really just solidify and stabilize the industry and give independent artists like myself a way to say, okay, now I can assess where I'm at and I can know where I'm going. If I can just pull just all these components together.
That's correct.
Again,
the analytics is built in, so you'll know exactly what's going on. The blockchain, you can't fudge it, can't cheat it. Right. All right, and back to that whole thing about revolutionary. Aligning. The bottom line is, this has never been done before. I mean, they haven't figured this out since Napster. In fact, they haven't even figured it out when they went peer-to-peer with the malicious version of the BitTorrent. Justin Sun went out and bought out Tron Network. He's the owner of Tron Network. It's a blockchain we run on top of, but he bought the whole BitTorrent out. So he's got 100 million of those users, and he's giving them incentives now to allow us to store the VibraVid music across the nodes, right? So, the point is, this is like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. You can come up with any phrase you want. It hasn't been done. It's mind-boggling. and it's almost like too good to be true. The proof is in the pudding, you know. And we have a new saying now, Morris. It's called "Get played, get paid." Is that what we say, Alex?
Yeah, get
Is that
paid.
the new slogan?
I love that.
Get played and get paid. Mike Hansen coined that over there in Seattle, one of our team members. But
And
Jadakiss
Jadakiss repeated it.
oh yeah,
right.
yeah, that's
He's
true.
out there.
That's true. Jadakiss gave us a shout
Rough
out and
Riders.
said that. So really, if you think about it, you do have to find a balance, because I think people have gotten spoiled and they don't want to pay for music anymore. And speaking of this decentralized storage, that's a huge industry. Like, cloud storage makes a ton of money. And the fact that we can take your music, you have a place to put it, and it's decentralized, is going to save us on so much expense in the future when you have tons of data inside our platform. When that's decentralized, now we can go in and, you know, we can put our advertisements and things like that and really share that and give a better percentage, because we're saving money, and give better percentages to the artist and even to the listener. So it's a win-win-win for everyone, you know, whether you decide to charge for your music or not.
Hey guys, I want to reflect two things really quick. Sorry to interrupt. In real time, I just got a notification. I just earned 1 BeatzCoin. So I'm getting paid, man, in real time. I'm using it too. And it's an awesome thing. And you know what, Alex, back to your point, it is a combination of, but I'll tell you something. Believe it or not, nothing's for free, right? If you try to get something for free, if someone wants a free song off of these like unsafe networks, okay, the internet, I mean, you got to be bringing in all kind of malware. People need quality, right? They need value. So I don't mind paying for something because I know I'm going to get value. I need to go to a site that I can trust. I don't want to be pulling stuff from unknown sites where someone's really trying to hack me. So I think people have been educated over a time. There's been like a mind conditioning over the years. So now when people see music of quality, they'll pay for it knowing that they're not going to pull down something malicious where someone's really trying to give them something for free just to kind of, you know, hack into them. When they think of blockchain technology and if they think of streaming over VibraVid, they're going to be thinking of security, full control, comfort, you know. And so what I'm saying to you is that I think people will really adapt because they're able to get exactly what they want and feel good about it versus ending up with all this music and then next thing you know, your computer has viruses on it because that came along with the old school free download, if you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't really
sure.
for free. You paid for something malicious, actually.
Yep, I remember using LimeWire, and then about a week later, that computer was toast.
You said that Warner Brothers was going over, they were merging with that. What's your take on that?
Alex,
what's your take on that?
Well, for me,
yeah, go ahead, Brian. You go first.
You got to think of it this way. The blockchain is something that can't be stopped. The open public blockchain, you can't stop it. So you either fall off or you try to figure out how can I get in this game, even if you don't really know what to do. You try to have some kind of affiliation. So what you're going to see is not only Warner Brothers, but other music companies and corporations trying to figure out what can they do to entice the artists because you've already come to a point where you know it's better to be independent, better to own your own publishing. What's left? To control your content. So now they can say to you, well, you know what? If you come to us, you can sell directly to your fan base. Well, you can sell directly to your fan base right now on a streaming platform called VibraVid without having to sell your soul to some record label. So, of course, they're going to come into this space.
Yeah, and I mean, the important thing here is that I don't think all record labels are bad. There's many that are good and provide value, specifically the more medium and smaller ones. But at the same time, you're a big fan of Prince, right? Right, Morris?
Yeah.
So I remember Prince, you know, he was preaching, keep your masters, own your own music. And that's the problem. People aren't owning their stuff, and then it's getting manipulated to conform to the ones that do own it. And that's where the problem with art lies right now, in so many facets, from financial to your actual music. It's crazy, man.
Right.
I have a clip. I have a clip of Prince. I'm going to send it to you after. It's awesome what he says.
Now, Morris, the question is, let's say Warner says, hey, now we're on the blockchain and you can sell your music directly. How much of that do they want? Now, like, how much control will they have of that? So it's good for them. It's good for them.
That's where really just stretching the boundaries. I mean, going back to what you said about Prince, and you saw that, we also said the internet is dead. I remember our conversation off the air, it was that the internet is dead, right? And come on now. You got to look at this, right? What is it that he saw that? What is it that he saw that we see now that he saw about 20 years ago? He saw the peer-to-peer. He saw the internet is dead. It needs to be changed. 3, the music industry is broken. Okay? And all this ties into blockchain. If you really think about it, all this ties into that.
I think we said it. I think we nailed on all the principal points when it comes to this. But I want to know a little bit more about you, Morris. Brian said you're originally from Texas?
I'm originally, from Texas. I was born there. I was born in Texas. Mom and dad moved to Chicago. We're about 5 years old. And all my family's is from Texas, Minneapolis, and Louisiana, Chicago. But home is Texas.
That's awesome, man. I'm here in Houston, so when I saw Texas, when he told me Texas, I was like, oh, I didn't catch that last time we spoke.
I don't know, man. The Houston and Dallas thing got a kind of a rivalry going on. Is that true?
Houston and Dallas are always going to be rivals, but the truth is, you'd rather be in Houston than Dallas.
See, all right. See, I've never been to Houston. My dad has, but I've never been to Houston. But I'm going to ask to come perform in Houston soon. So hopefully I get a chance to come out there and see your beautiful city.
Dude, that would be awesome. I'd love to see you here in Houston. Where's are you going on tour anytime soon?
Well, we're getting ready to release a new album. Well, a remastered album, which is going to be the follow-up to The Dawn. It's called Protege Remastered. We're getting ready to release that around Christmas. So then after we do that, we're going to try to hit the road in 2020.
I mean, it's right around the corner. How did you get into music in the first place? Like, what age and like what inspired you?
What inspired me about the music? I was born with it. It's in the DNA. My mother's a singer. My dad is a singer. My dad used to be in a singing group and told me that. My mother, she said when I was a kid, and I can remember, I was at the age of 3, when Tom Jones, Michael Jackson, and all of them used to come online, I used to be singing. And then my brother is a musician. He's a singer as well. And as a matter of fact, my whole family we are. I got into the music industry probably. I started writing songs at the age of 12, and then we started recording at my mother's basement at the around 13 years of age, and I just been in it ever since. Now, being in it professionally was 2000 and I think around 2000.
Question:
It's when I took it through.
What was the very first song that you wrote, and what's your favorite song that you've ever wrote?
The very first song that I wrote, that I had written, I think when I was 13. I think it was called "Hot for You Love."
You still remember it?
I do. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my brother, and he's remastering every song I did around the age of 16. And I think we're going to release an album. It's called The Early Years. We grew up with a high school band. We listened to people like Prince, all the 80s stuff, the 70s stuff. And we were just recording in our mother's basement. So my favorite song I ever written, I think it's from the new album now. I think it's You and I Should Be Together. It's off the Dawn. It's a new album that I just released April 19th on my dad's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one of the ones that caught my ear when I was listening to your album the other day, because I did listen to your latest one, and yeah, You and I Should Be Together. That's kind of the one that's got the, I don't even know how to describe it. You uploaded it, right? So we can have the listeners go listen to it.
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I give you guys the whole album.
Awesome. And what we'll do is I'll put the I'm going to put that on the intro and the outro, little clips, so give people a little teaser to listen to it. So that'll be great. So when did you realize you can really make a career out of music?
Well, it was a career out of it. I envisioned that at the age of 17. I've been writing, and I think I realized that after the age of 16, 17. But when I got grown, I got in my 20s and kind of going through some hardship, couldn't keep a job because my mind was always about the music. I didn't want the corporate world. I hated the corporate world. I just knew what I wanted to do, and that was music. So I didn't really start taking it very seriously until my late 20s. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's when I found out.
And that's during that time, did you sign with a label, or how did you play things out?
Well, I never presented myself to a major label. I always wanted to do that, but there was a company that I did submit my music to. It was called Acme. ACME. It was a Christian label. I didn't know it was a Christian label. I picked up the yellow pages and I decided to send them my demo. So the guy that I sent my demo to sent it to Columbia Records, and they really liked it, but they had an artist that said that was similar to me, and that was Maxwell. That was the early 90s. That was Maxwell. And they wrote me back and said, and a couple of months later, about 6 months later, that was him. And then I saw his video, Ascension, and all my friends said, man, there's a guy that reminds me of you, and that was that cat. So, and then 2006, I had a manager out in New York. She presented me to some labels like Motown and all of that. And at that time, Raphael Sadiq was hot. So they compared me to him. And we were two completely different people, and our music genres are different, but they compared me to him, say, hey, man, we have another artist like him. So it was, it was weird. I never pursued the label. I mean, people pursued it for me. I didn't ask, And the great thing at that time, I think the Universal, I forget his name, but the president of Universal Records heard my stuff and he liked it, but nothing went of it.
Right, but you still managed to make a living out of it, which is awesome, man, and you're still doing what you love today. And that's great, man.
Yeah, man, it goes back to Prince, man. Prince is and still is a major influence in my music and the way that I think and I operate, because he left the blueprint. You know, you don't have to sign with the major. Even though if you sign with a major, it's good, but make sure you got the right deal. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't think it was against the labels. I think it was more for them treating you right. You know, if you loan me some money to record the album, right? And you give me like $150,000 to record the album, I already made that back in sale. So therefore, I should own my album, right? I should own my master.
Right.
You know, it's like a loan. You pay me that loan, I paid, you know, I'm buying a house. I got I paid the money for the house, now give me my house. That makes sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
except they're taking advantage of,
right.
of you and like drawing you out that 30-year interest.
Right. It's a sham, man. And I get so upset because I see a lot of artists that are broke, and people are rich. Okay, TLC. Now get your calculators out, right? I'm serious.
I know this one, but tell the audience.
Go
ahead.
I really want you to do the math.
Okay, let's go.
Well, I mean, with the Bitcoins and all of that, the cryptocurrency, the artists will see pretty much every penny of that.
Right. Yeah. If you're controlling, and you know, if you're setting the terms and conditions, the platform is already has a smart contract agreement in, so you already know what you're getting. And
right.
Yes.
Even if you take away the PR, even if you take away, the PR people, of course, are publishing the marketing promotions. I mean, there's no way you should walk around broke, right? And that's where my passion is at. Right. So that's where my passion at, as far as fighting for the artist, you know, and that's where I'm at with owning your masters, owning your publishing, owning your copyrights, right?
Correct.
And getting paid for what you do. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to get paid for what I do. There's nothing wrong. Okay, I mean, just like a doctor, right? A doctor went to school to do what?
To learn how to practice on you.
Right. Learn
to the humor. It's a practice.
But attorney, you go to school because you want to make a living. I don't think people are taking the musician and his craft seriously, because we believe that music should be free.
And Morris, go back to what Alex said earlier, not to go in circles. The truth be told, there are some good, record labels, but here's the deal. When it becomes an even playing field, then the relationship changes. So in other words, right now, if you only have a one-stop shop, then that one-stop shop, if that person's greedy, they can do whatever they want to. You take it or leave it, right? But when the technology says, hey, I have the ability to take full control of my content, well, let's see how the legacy record labels adjust, because they have to adjust, right? Now they can change their role, and you guys can become more partners. They may decide, you know what, let's be a partner together, and they may offer a different set of services. But the point is, you control your content. So they will adjust, they will come into the space, but you have more options now. Look at it that way. You just have more options, and you don't have to take you don't have to take their deal. That's it.
Right. So the cryptocurrency is going to change the revolution. This blockchain industry is just, to me, it's going to just get better. And if it's leveraged right, I believe the artists will have a way of monetizing, if that's a correct term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of his music.
Right.
Yeah, of his music. I think you guys got a great product. I'm happy to be on the platform, and I'm going to advocate it to all my friends that are musicians, that are quality musicians, and not just to musicians, quality musicians, to consider the blockchain format.
We really appreciate you
that.
we really appreciate you being a pioneer with us on this objective that we have to really empower the artist. And we thank you for being one of the first to join VibraVid. We have a long road to go, but the way this thing is going, like it's the real deal. So Morris, man, before we let you go, what's on tap? You've got a project that you're working on, right? So give me the details on that.
Well, I have two projects. I have two projects. I got Protege Remastered. It's an album that I did release 2018, and that's me paying homage to Prince for his music and for me being influenced by him. And then The Dawn is out. I just released that. So Protege is being remastered because the remastering was not done to its perfection. So we're going to put some new songs on there, and we're going to revive some others. So yeah, so it's going to be a good year. And then 2020, I'm going to release the other album as well. So
awesome.
It's going to be like 2 albums out there. Yeah, and I'm going to debut them on your format. On the format. I mean,
man, we
you
love
guys
that.
be the first to have it. Yeah.
Love it, love it.
You guys gonna make me want to take all my stuff, all the streaming platforms, and just make it there just exclusively. It's dope. It's dope, man. I believe in you guys.
Man,
So
if you're to the point where you can do that and it would benefit you financially, then I know we've made it 100%. I do think that, you got to take advantage of every avenue that you can, but man, that would be the greatest thing ever, It'd be a little scary too, because then they'd be coming after us.
One more thing I want to say before I go is this, man. The artist needs to set the tone. He needs to be, or she needs to be, the captain of their own ship. And you just need to do that. You just need to take chances, but take smart chances. And you just can't be scared. You just cannot be scared, because what do you have to lose?
And that's great encouragement for all the other listeners right now.
Right. And some of the greatest people that I admire wasn't in the comfort zone. It's easy to be on Spotify, but if Spotify is not benefiting you, then what's the use to being on Spotify? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. It's my music. We create our own platform. That's what I believe.
Morris Mills, thank you so much for joining us. We can find your music on VibraVid. This is the first time I say that on a podcast, so it's super exciting. Everyone who's listening, go check us out, vibravid.io. We've got a basic product out so you can test and see and listen to Morris Mills and his latest hits. You and I should be together. Check it out, VibraVid platform.
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys.